Hello everyone, very warm welcome to the next session on Abap on HANA. In the last session of Abap on HANA, we had discussed about what is SAP Cal, why we need SAP Cal to set up our own server. We looked at also the architecture of in HANA database. We looked at different engines which are there in SAP HANA database. We also talked about how exactly the strategy for SAP in terms of release as well as support pack works. And we looked at different support packs of SAP HANA database and evolution of SAP HANA database. Then we also talked about a Cal server, how much it will cost you to set up your own SAP Abap on HANA server. And we were unable to run our SAP Abap system. So what I did is I had terminated my instance, which I was running that day, and I had recreated once again another instance, a fresh instance, completely fresh instance I recreated. So I will now show you connecting to that fresh instance and also show you how to set up your license for Abap on HANA, both in the database as well as in your Abap system. Okay, so let's get started with the class. I will quickly go to my Cal server. So I go to cal.sap.com on my Cal console, where I have to now log in and show you the server which I started with its IP address, and I will give that IP address to all of you. I assume by far that all of you have also set it up in your system, the Eclipse development environment as well as the SAP GUI environment. So both of are mandatory for you to set up in your system so that you'll be able to get started with your Abap on HANA practice. Yeah. So you can see here I have already created another instance, and this particular instance is already up and running with this IP address. Let me give this IP address to everybody, and today let's try it out if you are able to connect to your system. So what I recommend you to everybody, go to your SAP logon, and in your SAP logon just go ahead and maintain this IP address. Yeah, so this is actually running in the cloud, so which means everybody from wherever you are, you will be able to access our server. Just put the IP address in your SAP GUI. On that day also we added the system, so those who haven't added, add a new system and put this application server IP address which I pinged you into the chat window over here, and also put the instance number as 00. You can put anything in the description and just put A4H as the system ID. This should be fixed. A4H, Abap for HANA. Okay. Click on OK button and double click on your SAP GUI system, and please confirm me if you are able to launch the SAP GUI system or not. So I want a confirmation. Those who have SAP GUI already installed now, please confirm me if you are able to launch this or not. Yes or no? Yeah. So Krish is saying yes. So I got one yes. Let me see how many more yes I can get it. We'll wait for a minute or so for everybody to be on the same page. So that proves that our Cal system works. Yeah, I got another yes. Great. So you all can see now this is how your Cal system works. Wherever you are in the world, you can connect it any point of time. But of course, I'm not going to share my credentials with you to work with this system. Sorry for that. But yeah, you can see that the Cal works. So now I'm going to show you how to set up the license in your SAP Abap system. So as I told you in the last session, the licensing process is a typical legal process. If you buy a server from non-authorized vendors, they will apply a pirated license, which is actually illegal activity, including also the facts that they run the system on the back dates. Okay, and also they kind of don't have the capabilities which we want to do it in our system going forward with our examples of this course. Okay, so that's what the reason I recommended all of you to go with the Cal. So now I will go ahead and look at the licensing part. So now what happens when you install this Cal server? So this is also written into the guide, but I'm just putting it here in the PPT in the easy word. So what exactly happened when you set it up this server? System has created an SAP Abap NetWeaver. Okay, system has created SAP Abap NetWeaver 7.5 SP01 installation. Okay, which supports Abap language. So anything related to Abap, you will run it with the help of NetWeaver. So this is what got set up. System has also created 3 users by default with this box. Okay, these 3 users are SAP star user, which is the administrator of the system of your Abap system. okay, which will be like a basis activity. He will be the super user. He has all the powers in the system. With this user, you can create more other users. If you worked in SAP basis, and you can apply all the features which you know from basis using this user, SAP star user. Now this user will also manage the license. We will use this user to manage the license in the system. Okay, basically authorizing the system that a developer can develop it. Second user which gets created is DDIC user. This user is responsible for data dictionary. Super DDIC. Basically, he is the data dictionary user, which is responsible for activating, deleting any standard SAP data dictionary objects also. Okay, so he is a super DDIC user. And third user, which is more important for us, is developer user. This is also got created automatically. This is your user. Okay, you need your user, you as a developer. Okay, you as a developer use this user to learn Abap on HANA. Fine. Everybody clear? What three users got created in the system? In Abap system, which means you will use it SAP GUI or Abap on Eclipse to connect. Fine. This is what we will do. Now, can anybody confirm if I taught you last class how to set up Eclipse already in your computer, Eclipse Oxygen with Abap development tools? Is that covered? Was that covered in the last class? Anyone? Can you please confirm me if at least installation of Eclipse, JDK and Abap development tools in Eclipse was covered in the last class? Okay, it was covered. Fine. Thank you for confirmation. I don't remember, probably so, because I've not noted down also it. Okay, great. So this is about the application layer. So you always keep this picture in mind: presentation, application and database. Keep this picture always in the mind, guys. Okay, whenever you're working with Abap on HANA in the course, always keep this picture in mind. Which is the database are we using here? Anybody, can you please tell me which database are we using here? Which is the database are we using here? Absolutely, we are using HANA database. That's why it is Abap on HANA. Okay, we are using HDB. That's also short name called HANA database, HDB. If you see HDB, it's a HANA database. Okay, so HDB we are using. So it created a user here to your application server, which you can connect. Very nice. Now, what about this database? If you want to connect to this database, how do you connect it? So what system also did, it created three users at the database level also. Okay, the first user which is created at the database level, this user is the super user called system. Okay, just like in your application server Abap you have an administrator, similarly at the database HANA database level, this is the administrator, super user at DB level. He has all the powers, all the authorization. So in case if we are lack in any authorization in coming future, we can use this user to log into database and give the authorization to our user whenever needed. This is the first user which got created. Second user called BW developer. This user created for business warehouse developer. If you remember, I was talking about different roles in the last class. What is that people do with SAP HANA database? What is that a BW consultant does? HANA admin. So this is the HANA admin user. And then as a HANA consultant or an ABAP consultant, you need to connect to the HANA DB. So for that, there is another user which could, so this is for the BW users. So we are not looking into the BW scenarios here. We are working core development task in HANA DB, like let's say information modeling. So for that, we will be using a special user, which I will explain you in a minute. Let me put that as a surprise here. So this will be your developer user in HANA. Okay, HANA system. So that user I will reveal it in a minute once we will look at some schema concept. Okay, is that clear to everybody? Now it's important for you to install the license in the software. License for the HANA DB and license for the Abap system. Both are required. Otherwise, what will happen? You will not be able to develop anything. Let me show you. So I will connect with the developer user. Okay, with my master password given in the cal, which I showed you in the last session. I go to SE38. So don't you try connecting, guys, because you don't have the password. And let me give here some Z sample report. I just put a sample program name to create a new program, Z sample. Click on create. And now you see what is happening. It is asking me a developer key, right? So since you install a developer edition and there is a developer user already created, but the key is not applied. The reason is very simple. You don't have right now license applied in the system. The moment you apply developer license in the system, your developer user will become live without any access key. You would not need any access key. So that's the prerequisite. You have to now set up the license, guys, in the system, and you need to log into the system to install license as an administrator. So which is the administrator user for Abap? Anyone? What is the name of the administrator user for Abap system? What is the administrator user for your Abap system with which you need to log in? SAP star. And what will be the password? It will always be your same master password which you gave in the cal during setup. Okay, so SAP star will be the user. Okay, so with this we will first log in and install the Abap license. So let me just close this window, go to SAP GUI again double click on the server, and now log in as a SAP star user. Again my master password, and I'll connect here. Now the first thing which I need to do is go and check the transaction code S license. Okay, so let me also note down this. The transaction code to install the license in SAP system is S license. Okay, S license. Let me take this. This is the T code to set up license. Okay, let's use this. So S license, I will always add every transaction which I'm teaching in this course in the favorites. So insert transaction so that you guys can remember, and I include it. And you see administrator SAP licenses. Go inside and you see here this is the license which is already there, going to expire, but this is not a developer license yet. So now we need developer license. For that you need this hardware key. Now let's copy this hardware key. Same thing you can do in your cal server, guys, and go to mini SAP license website, mini SAP license. I think this was also taught. The URL was posted in the PPT in the last session. So I will go to that website, and now we will first set up our Abap license. So watch here carefully. We are working right now with our Abap system license. Okay, very important. So let's download an Abap license. So we choose here the system as A4H Abap for HANA NetWeaver 7.4 and above. It's 7.5, which means it's already above 7.4. So I select this, come down, enter my details, and my email ID, whatsoever it is, and put the hardware key. I agree, and click on generate. It will create a license key for you. You see A4H multiple got downloaded automatically. Now I go back here to the transaction, right click on the transaction and say install license. Okay, install license, and now it will open up the box for me to choose the license file which got downloaded. So I'll go to my downloads folder where the license thing was downloaded, and it's absolutely free developer license, guys. Okay, don't have to pay to anybody for this. So maybe I just go back, open the download folder, copy the path of this, and let's come back to our SAP system, put the path on the top, enter, and now A4H multiple, it's a multi-user license, guys. Click on open, allow, and I'm installing. So 2 license keys successfully installed. Perfect. So your license key is now available for your demo system. Now in case, let's say it will basically given for 2 months, guys. Okay, so after 2 months it is subjected to expire. You can repeat the same process and keep the server up and running, and this is legal and authentic way to run a system, not a pirated license. You're running in a legal authenticated system. Okay, free of cost by SAP. Of course you are charged by Amazon for the server in the cloud. Great. So that's about your Abap license. Let's test it now. So I go back and log in. That's it. You can log out from the user for SAP star. I will come out, and now I'll once again log in as a developer user with my master password, and let's go to SE38 and write our first Abap program and see if it is now allowing me to do that. So Z sample one more time, create, and voila, you see now it gave me the screen for creating demo. Yeah, very nice. Now remember, it's not a ECC system, which means it doesn't have all the FI, CO, MMPP tables. Okay. So then what will you use? Which tables will you use to practice? We'll use an EPM data model tables. I will show you that. So right now, let me just create a select single star from a table. I will tell you about this table, what it is. Into LS products. Yeah. And then I'll just do a write statement. Control space. And I just say product category. And just printing some random values, product ID maybe. So I'm just printing some value on the screen. Just a simple, very simple ABAP program. Now some people will wonder what is this? Okay. This is something which you are seeing for the first time, guys. So this is something called inline ABAP declaration. I will come to this topic later in the course when we will talk about ABAP programming enhancements with NetWeaver. Okay. So as I told you, all the three layers are improving day by day. Okay. SAP is innovating, bringing new things which you are not aware. That's what this course is all about. All three layers in R3 architecture are evolving. What is that evolution? What is the new syntax? What are all the new techniques? That's the goal of this course. We'll talk about it in later. Right now, just wanted to write a test report and check it if it's working fine or not. Let's execute it. And you see notebooks HT1000 something got printed. Successfully created our first ABAP program. Amazing. Now same ABAP program you can also open with Abap on Eclipse. So I showed you how to set up Eclipse in the last session, and now we will connect our Abap system to Eclipse, the same Abap system which we have it here, and open the same program once again in Eclipse. So this is your Abap on Eclipse, and I quickly switch to the perspective. On the top right corner I see an Abap perspective here. Select that, click on open. It will go to Abap perspective. Now add an Abap project. So right click here on Eclipse, new, and choose Abap project. Now what is an Abap project in Eclipse? So let me note down that over here. What is an Abap project in Eclipse? So don't confuse this with an a real program or report. Okay, it's not a program, it's not a report. What is an Abap project? You just need a container which can hold all the artifacts which you are working in Abap from Eclipse. Okay, so what is it? It is nothing but just a container which hold all the artifacts which you need, which you are working in Abap system. Okay, it has no meaning, it's just a container which allows you to connect to your Abap system from Eclipse. Okay, so this you can say it also is a single communication channel to your Abap system. Basically nothing but NetWeaver. NetWeaver is the technology platform which supports the Abap programming. Just like you need C compiler to run a C program, you need NetWeaver 7 or NetWeaver basically to run your Abap program. Okay, NetWeaver also comes with a lot of other features like XI tools. You have Java runtime environment, you have people integration, process integration, information integration, master data management, all business object processing framework. Lot of different features comes inside NetWeaver. So Abap is also one of the feature you can consider as part of NetWeaver, which is your technology platform for SAP applications. Okay, so just like C program cannot be executed in a notepad, Abap program also cannot be executed in a notepad. You need a runtime, and that runtime is provided by SAP NetWeaver. Okay, for all SAP applications. So now we'll see how to connect to our Abap system. So one Abap system equal to one project? No. So there's a question here in the chat box. Is this one-to-one relationship between one system? You can add only one project? No. You can add multiple projects, but ideally you do one project. You add one project per system in your Eclipse, because you can, with the help of this, you can work simultaneously with development, quality, production, right? This was not possible earlier. You got to open 3 SAP GUI windows to work with dev, PU, and production. With Abap on Eclipse, you can open 3 different projects in same Eclipse window and work with all 3 systems together. It's completely possible. That's the beauty of Abap on Eclipse. So these are all the, now I'm starting with the features of Abap on Eclipse. Okay, this is first feature. You can see an advantage for you. Work with single window with multiple systems together. Abap on Eclipse. This is the first advantage of Abap on Eclipse, basically ABAP development tools, ADT. ADT also stands for Android development tools. Don't get confused. If you search on Google, you will find ADT as Android development tools. But here in this context, we are talking about ABAP development tools. Okay. This I showed you how to set up ADT tools in your Eclipse environment. So now we are talking about features of it. So this is the first prominent feature which increase developer efficiency, because you can work with all the different systems with different projects in a single window. Let me show you how to add our ABAP system now. So I right click, created an ABAP project. Now I choose the system. Similarly, you can choose other systems which you have it in the Eclipse here, and click on next, and it'll now say next once again, and just provide your master password. Click on OK. It will connect to your Abap system, and you will be able to, oops, I think I mistyped the password, and you can just see in a short while it will show you the project in Abap on Eclipse. So let me just wait for it to connect, and you will be able to see the view, and also you'll be able to open up our report program. So if you expand here this project, go to favorites, packages, your local object will be displayed by default as a developer, and you will see one program which we created by default will be now available under source code library programs, and this is the program which we created. So I double click now, and let me show you the code which we had written will be now available also here. I can of course edit, do whatever I can do in SAP GUI, I can do it here. You see, that's your report program opened in Eclipse. Now you see this window looks like, does this window look like SAP GUI window? Anybody? Do you see this window look like a SAP GUI window? Yes or no? Is this a SAP GUI window? Anyone? Is this a SAP GUI window? Yes or no? No, it's not a SAP GUI window. SAP GUI window looks like this, right? It's not a SAP GUI window. Okay. Now, this is what happens when you work with Abap on Eclipse. Wherever there is a support by Abap development tools in Eclipse, it opens its own windows. But wherever it doesn't support, for example, when I execute this program now, it doesn't provide me support to display least output. So it will open a SAP GUI window for me. I press F8, I execute, and now you see it will open up a SAP GUI window for me. You see, it opened a SAP GUI inside the Abap on Eclipse. So wherever there is a support by Eclipse native development tools, it opens Eclipse like window. But wherever Eclipse doesn't still have a support for output, or for example something else, it opens a SAP GUI window inside the Eclipse. Fine. That is what happens. So don't panic that if it is opening, you can actually try now everything here. You can also go to SE38. So that's your SAP GUI window now. You can run SAP GUI inside Eclipse like this. So that's another feature what Abap on Eclipse provides you. It also seamlessly integrated with SAP GUI. Now, people who don't have SAP GUI installed, you will find it difficult working with ADT. That's why the reason I told all of you to install SAP GUI in your computer. If you don't have it, you will find problems. It will not work properly because some places it doesn't have a support by Abap on Eclipse. So it has to launch SAP GUI window. Yeah, seamlessly integrated with SAP GUI. So wherever the support from Eclipse is not available, a SAP GUI window will open. Fine. Is that clear to everybody what is happening here? Now, there are some shortcuts which I will teach you with which you can yourself open the SAP GUI window. Okay. I will show you those shortcuts. So we saw the output also was visible. So we will be exploring some features of ADT today. Okay. Now, what next? You can also now add another project as you were asking. So I can add this another project once again, Abap project. Okay. Next, same system with different user. Okay, it's possible. So I can come here, SAP star user, my master password of course, and say finish. Same system again I added with another user. Why it's giving an error? I don't know. Sorry, it's in 000 client. SAP star user always work with 000 client. I say finish, and oops, it's not working. There is something wrong. Do I need to make SAP small star? I guess. Let's try. No, it's giving me an error. I don't know why. So it's not allowing me. Let me try DDQ user. Ideally, it should allow me. No, it's not allowing me. Maybe I'll try once again with the developer user with 001 client. Remember, you have to work with 000 client with SAP star user, and that's a one-time activity for installation. And then later on, always work with developer user. That's a one-time activity. And I am again adding with developer user. You see another session is added. So that is a myth that it's a one-to-one. You can have same user connected to two systems, or same user connected to one single system 2 times with two different projects. But don't do it. It will be kind of, a problem for you. Okay. Yeah, I think a star is not allowed, but it was not allowing DD too. So I'm not sure. Yeah, but typically this is how we connect to our Abap system from Eclipse. Now this definitely gives you an advantage because it allows you to work with multiple perspectives at same time. Yeah, why? Now what you need to do is you want to also connect to your HANA DB. Remember this picture always in mind. You want to also connect to your HANA DB. What will you do? So people who are not aware, some people use HANA Studio, some people use for Abap system, they use Eclipse, sorry, or they will use SAP. For HANA system, they use HANA Studio. No, this will reduce your efficiency because you have to now switch between SAP window and HANA Studio window. But to gain the efficiency, developer efficiency, what SAP have done, they've also allowed Eclipse to connect and install the plugins for HANA development tools. With the help of that, same Eclipse can now connect to HANA DB also. Let me show you. So let me just remove these different projects from here so that it will look clean and it won't confuse you, because I have some Fury projects in here. I'm deleting them permanently. Yeah, now it looks clean for us. And now I just click on plus once again and choose here HANA modular perspective. You see HANA administrator console development modular perspective. So we will work with modular perspective, guys. And I'll also like to show you opening it administrative console so that I can show you the features which I discussed in the last class about HANA DB. So first let's switch to modular perspective. Select HANA modular perspective that will be used by us to develop the information models. Click on open, and now you will see this window will switch. You see it's a different window. It looks little different than what we were earlier seeing on the left side, correct? Now you see some systems are there. I will delete them. And first I need to also set up my HANA license, which is important for us to work with HANA DB. So I click on add a system, put my IP address. So that I will get it from here, cal. That's the IP address. Linux external IP address, same you used for Abap system, that IP address. Come back, put that. Port number should be 02. Put a description as HDB, whatever you like, you can put it. I'll put HDB for simplicity. Next, and now put my administrator user, because I want to now install license. So anybody, which is the administrator user for SAP HANA DB? Anyone? What is the administrator user for SAP HANA DB? Anyone? What is the administrator? Says yes, system user. So let's put system, put my master password, caps lock is on, be careful. I say store it in the password secure store and click on finish. That's a feature of Eclipse. It won't prompt you again and again for password, and you see it's now connected to HANA DB. So you see one powerful single tool allows you to work with multiple perspectives, with multiple systems, and with multiple types of systems, Abap system and HANA system together. That definitely gives you a competitive advantage of working with your a nice, amazing development environment. You don't have to switch between multiple contexts, multiple systems. You can work with single development, single window, switching just the perspective, and you can work with Abap, HANA, everything together. So the beauty here, why I love Eclipse is, in fact, in my Fury training, I taught majority of you, those who are taking my Fury training, that I also work with Eclipse, not with SAP Web ID, as long as it's good for me, because I can now work with my Abap projects, with my HANA projects, with my Java projects, with my Fury projects, everything under single hood I can work with. You will see slowly the power of Abap development tools, because there are some new things which you cannot create with SAP GUI. You can only create with Abap development tools in Eclipse, like CDS view. You cannot create CDS view with SAP GUI. SAP GUI doesn't support it. Okay, you can only create with ADT, Abap development tools. So let me note down next advantage. It provides you to work with different systems, different landscapes, like production queue, all that, different systems. You can work with different types. You can work with DB, you can work with NetWeaver, you can work with Java, you can work with UI5, everything you can work with together in a single development environment. With this, context switching, window switching will not happen. As a result, developer efficiency gain. Yeah, these are interview questions, guys. This is what people will ask you. Why do you use ADT? Why not SAP GUI? So you should answer this thing. Another advantage is it's a flexible and customizable development environment based on your need. Let me tell you, I go back. Now you see there is something called where use list at the bottom. I can drag and drop it here. See, it comes here. I can customize the windows. See, I can quickly customize things the way I want. I can drag and drop these things. I can decide how my view should look like. Yeah, and then I can switch to Abap perspective, and I can decide how my Abap should look like. You see, CDS navigator, I can have this outline also drag and drop here, and that's my outline view. I will show you what is an outline view in a minute. Yeah, so that's customizable, completely customizable. I can on and off anything, whichever I don't like, whichever view I don't like. I can put some new views. So go to window, show view, and now you can see Abap unit runner, enterprise server browser. There are a lot of things, search results. So I can add any view, and I can remove any view whenever I like. So HANA related views, yeah, SAP HANA modeler related views, all that you can see it here. You can add, delete them. So you can customize your development environment based on your need. SAP GUI you cannot customize. Yeah, you can't drag drop these different views, different sections like this in SAP GUI. Not possible. Yeah. So that's customizable development environment for you. Okay. Now another efficient thing is efficient coding, because now you work with database also, UI5 also, Java also, and Abap also. So it will definitely increase your efficiency of writing code. You can also have amazing capability which your SAP GUI doesn't have. It's called fast search and navigation capability. So in Abap, in SAP GUI, can you, if you want to search a class, where will you search it? Anybody? If you want to search for a class, where will you go and search? SE24. If you want to search for a report, where will you go and search? SE38. If you want to search for a database table, where will you go and search? SE11. Or you can go with also SE80 and search there. Correct? In Eclipse, what you can do is there is a shortcut to search things. It's called Control Shift A. Yeah, Control Shift A and put any object here. Now I want to search for a class. Let me search for a class CL underscore OIA underscore CTG underscore CA underscore. And now you see a lot of classes are present. So I'll take this class, click on OK, and this class will be opened up. So it searches in the entire system, guys. That's the beauty. Searches in the entire, advanced search capabilities are possible with the help of this. You see the class is open in front of me now. That's the beauty of it. Now I want to see where this class belongs. So I can click on this button over here, link with the editor, click on this, and it will show you, it will open the package hierarchy where exactly it belongs. You see it open here. This is the class, it belongs to this package, this package, this package, this package, this package, this package. See, it has taken me directly to the point where this class is present along with its subordinates, other classes. Okay, that's the powerful thing. Another thing is you can add it to favorites. So suppose I want this package to be added to my favorites, right click and now say I have an option to add it to favorites. You see add to favorites. When I do this, you will see here now it's added to my favorites. This is the package. In this now you will find this different artifacts like CDS views. You can find dictionary, all the data dictionary objects, package interfaces, programs, classes, interfaces, everything you'll find them over here. That's a fast search and navigation capability which Abap development tools provides you. So what was the shortcut I used? Let me put the shortcuts into completely different window now over here. So my shortcut was Control Shift A. Okay, these shortcuts are very helpful in real life. I'm not going to teach you big shortcuts, small shortcuts which will help you to navigate things faster. Control Shift A to search any object in entire system, Abap system. Okay, that's your first shortcut. So you saw advanced navigation and search capability was possible. Okay, next, what else? It supports extensibility, additional extensibility like CDS view. So it supports extensibility. There are objects which you cannot create with SAP GUI. So objects like CDS views, CDS view with table function, yeah, AMDP, you cannot create these objects with normal SAP GUI. So these objects are only allowed be created by ADT. You cannot create them with SAP GUI. There is not a possibility. I'll show you one example of a CDS view opening here in Abap system. So let me just do that. So don't worry what is a CDS view guys right now. Don't panic, don't worry. I will come upon this topic very well. We will learn them. So don't worry right now. Just wanted to show you that it's not possible to create a CDS view in Abap. So I take this CDS view. There's an existing CDS view. I'll copy this CDS view. So this is my view name. I go to SE80. Okay. I go to SE80 and try to edit it. So don't panic. Just look at this, that this is possible. This is not possible. Yeah. So that thing I'm showing you, I'm not showing you anything else. Development object, put the CDS view name, press enter, press search basically. Okay. It's not finding, not finding. Yeah. It's searching. Yeah. It has opened. Now I can see here. I don't see CDS view. See, in the package, I don't see the CDS view. And what shall I do? Star. Let's see if it opens up somehow. Yeah, you can see data definition entity. I open this, double click, and you see it's not opening in SE80. Even though I searched it, I double click, it's not opening. So it doesn't support building, creating CDS views and editing them in Eclipse, in SAP GUI. It only works with ADT. Okay, now another interesting power of this is it also supports transport and debug capabilities, which we will explore it in a minute. Okay, so once we will move on, we'll learn about transportation. How can we transport objects? So of course that's an important ingredient of moving your objects from dev to quality and production. So it supports all the features which are there in SAP GUI, of course, are supported. Supports debug and transport features. That's what is possible. Next comes is it also supports Abap test cockpit ATC, which we will look at. One very important thing which I will teach you is in this course is code inspector and Abap test cockpit, how to look at the results. So it supports Abap test cockpit. We will look at this in our upcoming chapters. I'm just giving you an overview, an outline of what is these things which it supports. There's another interesting thing which it supports called Abap profiler. Okay, Abap profiler. So suppose you want to get a notification that if there is a dump comes in the system, notify me. You want to create that notification. You can do it with Abap Profiler. I will show you that also in upcoming days. Then it is basically a tool, the only development tool for Abap on HANA development. If you want to work with Abap on HANA, this is the best and the only option you have it with you. Now it also supports UI developments using HTML, UI5, Fiori, all that is supported also. Even WebDin Pro and FPM, all that works with ADT. Now it also has features like inbuilt quick fix. It can fix the issue for you quickly. You can modularize the code blocks using new features, which we will demo. I will demo it today. Modularize the code blocks using new features. Okay. It also have features like code templates. You can use code templates to work with Abap development tools. You can if there is a piece of code which you're writing again and again and again, you can create a code template for that and you can insert it quickly. See these many advantages you have. There's a strong reason to use Abap development tools in Eclipse. Very strong reason. Nobody can beat you if you can tell these many things in interview. That this is why we use ADT. Fine. You have a long list of things. As I told you, every session, every training which you take me, take a print out of this PPT and carry with you, because if you do so, all the interview questions anyways will be covered. Before you're just waiting for your queue for interview, read through this. You will memorize everything. Okay, let's look at further different shortcuts available in Abap development tools. Before that, let's quickly install our HANA license also in the system. So I'll switch back to HANA Modeler perspective, go to my HANA DB, which is connected as a system user right now. I right click here, go to properties of the system, go to license over here, and now you can see right now there is no license available. Okay, so now I now need the basically the license key for hardware key for the system. So after you wait for some time on this screen, you see it has loaded the hardware key. Copy this hardware key, go back to our mini license website, and now you got to choose HDB, SAP HANA DB, guys, very important. SAP HANA platform edition, this is what you have to select. SAP HANA HDB platform edition you have to select. Okay, after you select this, come down, keep all the details same, change the hardware key, that's it, and click on agree. And I guess that's it. Why it's not allowing me to generate, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll refresh this quickly. Maybe at a time it only allows one license at a time. So I'll refresh the screen and then once again type the details. So select HDB platform edition, very important to select this option, and then come down, put all your details one more time. It's authentic way, guys, very authentic way to do things. You are doing it completely in authentic way. Agree, generate. Your HDB license got created. Remember the file name in my case is having one inside, and I go back and I will just install the license key and choose the file which got downloaded. License installed successfully. Congratulations. Apply and close. We are done. Now you're ready also to work with HANA database. In case your license expire, repeat the same activity once again. You will be ready. Wow, amazing. Your system is now ready fully in a development mode. You can develop things up now in the system. Fine. So this was the process of applying the license. Let's now note down all the shortcuts first, and then I'll show you using these shortcuts in Abap development tools in Eclipse. So there is a shortcut called Control F2 to basically check the object. Control plus F2 to do a syntax check the object, and if you do Control F3, it will activate the object. So Control F2 to check, Control F3 to activate the object. Yeah, so activate the object. Now if you do Control Shift F3, so Control F3 for activating one object, if you do Control Shift F3, it will open all inactive objects. Next shortcut is Control 6 to open SAP GUI window. So if you just press Control 6, it will open SAP GUI window. Next comes is Control O to open quick outline view. Okay, this outline view helps you to look at the structure of your code. I will show you how it will help you. If you have a very large program, very large class with lots of methods inside, it will help you basically to navigate it easily. Next is Control T to check Abap type hierarchy. And finally Control Shift G to do a where use list. Let's experience them one by one. So Control Shift A already we saw to open any object, very powerful. I use it so frequently. Control F2 to check syntax check an object. So let's come back to ADT. Okay, it's kind of hang here. I don't know why it's kind of hanging. I don't know. Though the installation of the license was successful. Let me just quickly restart my ADT. So I close my Eclipse and restart the Eclipse one more time. Just give me a second. So it's Eclipse Oxygen what I'm using guys here, and on that I had already installed the Abap development tools on Eclipse basically. So now it is starting once again and we'll switch to our program. So for that let's quickly create a simple class and also consume that class in a report program. Okay, so that's what I want to do. I want to quickly open a simple class and consume that in a report program. So let me do create an interface, a simple class, and consume that that interface class into a program. So let me just go ahead and do that. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my SAP GUI window. This is what we do typically, development anything, SE 24 and 38. Maybe I will do it in ADT itself. So there's another shortcut which we discussed is Control 6 to open SAP GUI window. So I press Control 6. It will open a SAP GUI window. It's asking me which system you want to open SAP GUI window. And you see it will open a fresh SAP GUI window for me. And now I can go to SE24 and create a simple interface and I just name it as airplane and just quickly add some methods to the airplane interface. So click on airplane, local objects as we know. So prerequisite for this course is you should know Abap guys, very important. And now I will just put here a method called fly and I say instance. Of course an interface method is always, all methods are public methods. Yeah, so you have to put here F4 and choose the method as instance method. By default they all are public, so fly and I say boarding instance again, save this and activate the interface. So I created an interface. Now let me use this interface and inherit this interface to create an abstract class. So I create an abstract class AC, click on create, again a class I'm creating and I say abstract implementation for plane and I choose here the type as abstract class. Now anyone, what is an abstract class? Any development experience? Anybody? What is an abstract class? This is basic fresher knowledge which I expect from all of you. This is what fresher knows. What is an abstract class? Anyone? Nobody remembers what is an abstract class? Absolutely right answer, Sudhir. An abstract class is a class which cannot be instantiated and it has at least one abstract method. Okay, that's what called an abstract class. Perfect answer. Let me put down here. So first we created in step 1 interface. What is an interface? An interface is nothing but it is known to be pure abstract class, which means we cannot create an instance of abstract class, of course, And also we cannot create an instance of interface. We can only assign other object to the interface instance. Okay, we can declare an instance, but we cannot create it. We declare an instance of interface, we assign object to that interface. Okay, so it is known to be pure abstract class. All the methods has to be our abstract methods, which means we only write method definition. Have method definition inside interface, never the implementation. That's what called an interface. Second comes is your abstract class, which means a class which cannot be instantiated. We cannot create an instance of an abstract class at all, not possible. And a class which has at least one abstract method. That's a basic thing. Okay, now why we use them? Yeah, why do we use them? It's all used for reusability purpose. I will show you guys in a minute what is that reusability which we will do with it. Then we have concept called concrete class, which implements all the methods, the functionality, the actual functionality. Okay, now in this example what I did, I created an interface. Now this interface, I have two methods. One is fly and one is called boarding, or I will change it to load, let's say. Okay, I have two methods. One is called fly and one is called load. Okay, I have two methods. One is called fly and one is called load. Let me just create this guy. I do control shift A, and just to open my interface, zif underscore plane, search for this and I'll find it in a minute. I'll open this up and just also change the name of the method. Instead of boarding, I'll make it load. Save this, activate it. You will also see an icon, nice little icon here, which indicates it's an interface. If I open a class, you see here it's a class which is open. You see the icon is C. With this also you can find out what type of object it is. An interface is always an I icon. Class is C icon. If you look at program, it's different, P icon. Yeah, with icons also you can find out in ADT which object it is. So now I have a interface called fly and load. Now can anybody tell me what are all the different types of planes you have ever heard in your life? What are all the different types of airplanes you have heard? Anyone? What are all the different types of planes you have heard about it? Anyone? Cargo plane? Okay, very good. What else? What are all the other types of planes? Cargo plane and passenger plane. Yeah, these are all two types of planes. Now, do you see there is a different fly style for both these planes? Do you see a passenger plane fly in a different way than a cargo plane, or a cargo plane fly in a different way than a passenger plane? Do they fly differently? Anyone? No, they fly same way. They will start first on runway, start the engines, take off, and then goes into autopilot mode, and then landing, same thing. They fly in the same way. It doesn't matter, right? So this functionality of fly method is common. So do you write this functionality two times in both the classes again and again, same functionality? Anyone? Of course not. So if there is a common functionality between two classes, you don't want to rewrite all the logic again and again, because this will lead to maintenance in future. Suppose today you write fly method in cargo separately, passenger separately. Tomorrow the way all planes are flying have changed. Okay, the guidelines have changed and all the planes have to now abide to new guidelines. You have changed the passenger plane fly method, but you forgot to change the cargo plane fly method. You violated compliance then, right? So if there is same feature which you want to be implemented in multiple classes, do you write the implementation in all the classes? Of course not. So what shall we do? Because interface cannot include any implementation. You cannot have implementation in interface. That's not allowed. So What shall we do to solve this problem? We bring an abstract class. An abstract class can have implementation of methods. Okay, but at least one method should be abstract, which means you will not write implementation for some of the methods or at least one method. Now, do you see the loading mechanism for cargo and passenger same? Do you see loading of cargo plane is same as passenger planes? Do you see the way we load cargo is the way we load freight? Same way we load also the passengers? Do we put our passengers on conveyor belt and throw them into the plane? Of course not. So what is the process of loading a passenger plane? What is that called? Anyone? What is the process of loading a passenger plane called? Anyone? What is the process? It's called boarding, where people come, they give their boarding pass, there is a security check procedure which you have to pass through, and then you will finally go and sit. And what is the process of loading cargo? It's simple: throw them, throw all the cargo packets into the plane using conveyor belt. So passengers never go on plane using conveyor belt, they will go with their own legs or wheel machine. Yeah, so that's what they do. So this method is now different for cargo and passenger. So which means implementation of this method will not be done in the abstract class. It's not common. So we will mark load method as abstract method, and we will implement the fly method over here in the abstract class, which is common, and the method which is in common, which is dedicated to each concrete class, we will implement it here. So loading will be done here and separately here, because their implementation is different. Is this clear to everybody, this design what I've written down here? Is this design clear why we need an abstract class? Because we can put all the common implementation in place. And why we need concrete class? Because if the functionality is different for different features, that will be implemented in your dedicated concrete class. Is that clear to everyone? If you have any doubt, please speak up now. If you will not speak up, you will forget. This is interface on the top, which is all the signatures. This is abstract class, and finally this is concrete class. Okay, now this is called, this whole setup is actually standardized. Okay, is standardized by software architects, and this is called template design pattern. Those who attended my Fiori course, you all know that which design pattern are we using in Fiori? Anybody? Whenever we're designing Fiori apps, which design pattern are we using? MVC, right? Model view controller, that's a design pattern. Okay, similarly this is called template design pattern, because your abstract class is working like a template. Now there are a lot of other design patterns. If you want to become an architect in your company, you should know, you should have good knowledge on design patterns and UML. And this diagram is called UML diagram, Unified Markup Language, UML diagram. This diagram is called UML diagram, and this pattern, the way you arrange the classes in different styles, is known as design patterns. So this pattern is known as template design pattern. When you want to become an architect in your company, this is what you should know: all the different design patterns, different best practices to implement a class and set of classes based on your need in the company. And there's a dedicated course for this, Oops Abap course, which I'm offering, uh, where I have taught all the major design patterns like facade, proxies, adapter, template, uh, factory, abstract factory, decorator, listener. There are different design patterns which I taught in my course. So please subscribe to my Oops Abap course if you want to become an architect in your company for Abap language. Design pattern is a common concept in industry, but how do you use them in case of Abap scenarios? That's what is covered in my Oops Abap course. I don't recommend in case if you don't want to go in the architectural direction in the company. MVC is one of the design pattern. Whenever you have a screen UI, MVC design pattern is used, which we discussed already in our Fiori course. Okay, great. So now we are actually going ahead and implementing this whole design pattern here in the course. So let's go back. So I have two methods in interface. Now I'm going to inherit this interface into my abstract class. So I just put here ZIF underscore fly, sorry, plane, press enter. I got both of my methods. So fly method is something which is common. I'm going to implement it here in my abstract class. So I click this method and choose this button called redefine method and provide the implementation of this. Okay, so now, sorry, not redefine, just double click and put the code for this method over here. So now you see it's giving me some error. Reason user developer is currently editing ZAC plane. Okay, let me just come out of change mode, save it, and come back here, and hopefully my lock is removed. Yeah, don't show this, fine. I can now write a simple write statement. I'm writing, guys, and I'll say plane is running on runway number 1, and I'll say another write statement, plane is taking off. Yeah, and then I'll say next write statement once again, and I'll say Roger, you are on air. Yeah, that's the flying mode. And then finally, the fly after the flight takeoff is successful, I'll say autopilot on. Okay, so I worked as a wing manager in one of the company in my early days of career, so I know little bit of aviation industry very well. But aviation industry is now going through very tough time, and I had to leave this company and join another company, which was one of the US defense company. And with there also I worked, for a long time on the field with the fighter planes and fighter jets. So that's why I know little bit of these technicalities of planes. So don't worry, it's pretty simple, which you all can understand. Let's activate this. So that's my abstract class, very well done. And now the method which I'm not going to implement in this class is what I will typically mark as an abstract method. So this is the load one. I'm not going to do that implementation here. So I'm going to mark this abstract. So select this method, click on this button over here and make it as an abstract method. Of course, I have to go to change mode first to do it, and then select it and click this button and make it abstract, which means I'm not implementing it here. It will be implemented in a concrete class, which then inherits from the abstract class. So you look at always our picture is the best way to explain something or learn something. If you picturize everything in your mind, you will always remember things. That's my way of learning, my style of remembering things, and I hope it will help you as well. If you have this picture in your mind, you can anywhere, wherever you are, whether you're working with Java, JavaScript, C++, Abap, any programming language, you can implement this design pattern if you have this UML in your mind, if you have this picture in your mind. Okay, that's template design pattern. Now what does it mean? We need further inheritance, creating cargo and passenger plane class, inheriting from the abstract class which we have it here. So let's do that. So I'm going to switch back to SE24. I'm going to create ZCL plane passenger, click on create button and create the passenger class, click on OK, and I just put here something like passenger plane. Yeah, now I'll find a problem is by mistake I had made my abstract class as a final class, which means that cannot be inherited further. I hope so. So I'll probably try creating ZCL plane passenger, click on save, and of course I will give parent class as my abstract class, which is ZAC underscore plane. That's my parent class I want. Click on save, and you see you're getting an error saying that my parent class abstract plane is final. So I got to go back and uncheck that final attribute for my abstract class plane. So go for change, and you will see a flag called final. You see here it is final flag. I remove it, save it again, activate the class. In fact, if you're going to GUI editor, you will find the same. Let me show you in SE24 also. Display the class. Oops, it's displaying here in the graphical editor. So maybe I'll quickly go back to our SEPGUI window, and here ZAC plane. AC stands for abstract class. That's a naming convention. And now go inside and show you that we had marked it as a as a play, as a final class earlier. So go to properties, and you see now the final is unchecked over here, which means now I can inherit this class and create a child class of it. So let's do that here in SAPGO itself. So I come back and just create a new class, ZCL underscore plane passenger. Click on create, and I'm gonna inherit from the abstract class. Of course, let's give passenger plane, inherit from my abstract class, and make this as a final. That's good. That's my concrete class, and save it in local object. And you see both the methods got inherited from abstract class. Of course, load method is what I will implement here because that was marked as abstract. If I double click on fly, it takes me to the parent class because the method fly is common for any kind of plane. That's reusability, maximum reusability, guys. Okay, great. Now the load method, let's implement the load method. Go for redefine, and now in this load method I'm going to write what does it mean for loading passengers. So I can say now write statement, a simple write statement to indicate that passengers are checking in, and then I can another write statement, passengers are boarding from gate number 28, something. Okay, and then just fine, cool, let's activate the passenger class. That's it, my implementation for passenger class. I'm going to make a copy of this class and create a cargo class so that all the inheritance, everything comes up automatically. Of course, just go back and change the load method implementation over here. Instead of passengers, now your cargo freight, all the freights is moving on conveyor belt. Yeah, that's what is happening, and we are done. Freight is loading and loading. Yeah, that's it, my implementation for cargo plane class. We are good. Let's activate this cargo plane as well. We are done with implementation. So what is the inheritance hierarchy? If I come back now and quickly refresh my classes over here in ADT, you will see my classes are present now, all three classes. Let's go to the passenger class, and you all know that passenger class is inheriting from the abstract class, and abstract class is inheriting from the interface. So if you look at now the shortcuts, you will understand it more meaningful. So if you make some change here, let's say checking in space, now I save this. Now this is inactive. Okay, it's inactive. You see this small icon, gray color icon, which indicates that my current object is inactive. So if I want to now do a syntax check, I press Ctrl F2 to do a syntax check, and you see below I get message that it contains no error. Let me introduce an error, removing this dot from here. You see immediately in red symbol in Eclipse showcasing that there is a period which is missing. You see statement before right has no closed, period is missing. Immediately you will get the issue. The color also changes. It's better than SAPGUI. You can also do Control F2, and it will now you show you the red, and you can switch to problems view. So you see right now there's no problems view. Okay, it is here. So you see one error, and it shows you what's the problem with your code. Double click on this problem. It takes you to the line number where the problem is in Eclipse. Okay. So now I just put this dot, Control F2 once again, and you see the error is gone from the problems view, and it has no syntax error anymore. I want to activate this, so I can press Control F3 to activate my class further on. It's activating, and now you see it's got activated with that gray color icon is gone out. Fine. So that's the shortcut for activating. Now suppose I will make two different objects inactive, this passenger plane as well, and let's say my cargo plane as well. Okay, it's logged already in SAPGUI, so just come out. Fine, and make it space, save it. Now I have two objects which are inactive, so I can press Control Shift F3, and it opens up. Sorry, what is this? Enter the element with the prefix. Okay, ZCL. I don't know what is happening. Maybe Control Shift F3 once again. It should ideally show me class name prefix with pattern ZCL star. and now it should match. It should load basically all the inactive objects over here. It's not loading. Maybe try once again, control F3. It is just activating this object. It's not working. Ideally it should open all the inactive objects for me. Control Shift F3. I think I've noted down this shortcut incorrect. So E class name prefix, it's opening some model element. So leave this. I think that's not the right shortcut. Let me remove it. Maybe I missed it. Okay, so that's how you activate a class. So control F3 just to activate a class. So both the classes are now active. Now another interesting thing I wanted to show you is the outline view. You can open the outline view using control O, and you can see here the quick outline view, which shows that you're currently in the load method of passenger plane. Now if you press control O once again, it will show you the methods which are inherited from even the parent class. So first time when you do control O, it only shows you the methods which you implemented in this class. So we implemented only the load method in the passenger class. Again, if you press control O, it now shows you the methods which are also inheriting from the parent class. You see, this is implemented in abstract class. You can double click and it will navigate you to the method directly to the abstract class. You see, this is our method. That's the navigation capability we have it in Eclipse. Okay, you can also look at the outline over here on the left side. You see, this is the outline, what you can see, what window was earlier opening. It's also displayed over here on the left hand side. Also, you see here, there's this navigation. How did we reach to the load method? We first come to the passenger class. From the passenger class, we went inside the load method. You see, this outline is showing you. So these are all the couple of features which you can use. A quick outline view over here on the left shows you how the overall structure of your class. If you are in a big class, you see, it is very helpful. So you see here on the left side, if you are in a big class, it directly helps you to navigate to the corresponding method. You see on the right side, when I'm clicking, it's navigating to the corresponding method directly. That's an easy navigation, which was difficult in SAPGO. You got to search a lot, but here in the hierarchical view, you click, it takes you to the corresponding method. Again, control O to check the methods which are implemented in current class. Once again, if I press control O, it shows you all the methods which has come from the parent class as well. Wow, that's called outline view in Abap development tools. So as I showed you, control 6 just to open up the SAPGUI window. So control 6 to open a fresh SAPGUI window where you can now type in your transaction. You can just go to SC80, whatever transaction you like, you can go and check that out directly in ADT. So there is no need to now switch between SAPGUI window and your Abap development window. These are all some shortcuts. Control Shift G to do a where used list. So if I go to my interface in my project, let me open our interface and see where all my interface is used. Control Shift G I do, and I can now find where all this interface is being used. It will find it out basically. So if you come down in the below, it's basically searching, guys. You see it's searching still the where used. So once it will find, it will show me in the search view where all this particular interface is being used. So it's still searching. So I think this is a fresh system. So some of the processes are taking time for first time compilation. That's the reason your search and features are little slow. But as and when you get work or you work with system more and more, it will really help you to, speed up your entire development process. Now, you see here, it has found me 3 matches where this interface is being used. These 3 classes where this interface methods are being used. This kind of search capability you only get with Abap development tools in Eclipse. In simple Abap, of course, we have a where used, but here you can navigate to it quite easily within the same window. In SAPGO, you got to open multiple sessions to do that. You can also organize all your transports with the transport view here. So any transport you have, like you are working with multiple development system, let's say, all the development system can also be seen over here in the single view, and all the transports you can see it in the single view over here, and search the transports also quite easily in the transport organizer section in Abap development tools. Yeah, so just try out these things, get your hands dirty into the system, and then hopefully you'll be able to work with these small shortcuts and tools and able to understand the Abap development tools in Eclipse. Yeah, pretty easy, to work with, but yes, gets you a lot of efficiency when you're working with things. Okay, now let me also write a small method and show you how can we probably modularize things later point of time. So what I'll do is, now what I'm going to do is write a report program making use of our passenger and cargo plane class. And for that, I'm again going to right click here in source code library, create a new, and I say report program, Abap program, and just start with Z, and I say check, or let's say fly planes, and I say flying flight cockpit. I'm creating a cockpit program where I can sit and control all the planes flying from my airport. So I'm basically in ATC, and I'm going to control everything. So I first give a parameter, and where I put plane type, and I just put it as a single character, plain type as character C. This is a parameter I had put. Now if you see, I just put a single parameter. Typically we put parameters whenever we're writing parameters in a report program. You see Eclipse gives me a nice bulb symbol here showing that I've done something which could be improved. So that's a nice feature which Abap development tool gives me. And as I was talking about quick fix option, you can right click now here and choose the option for quick fix. Basically you can right click here on the underline and just choose the option for quick fix, and it'll fix the issue for you. Control 1 is the shortcut as well for that. Click here and you will see it is now loading all the proposals to fix this problem which it is identifying. Again, it's little slow at this point of time. Okay, no suggestions at this time, but yeah, of course many places it is very helpful where it shows you suggestions, and it allows you to fix up things quite easily which you have done something wrong. Okay, so that's what I write in a quick fix option. And now what I'm going to do is I'll declare the data objects for my classes. So I allow plane, so I allow, yeah, I'll create an interface object ZIF plane, and then allow, I can create cargo object type, and hopefully I can drag and drop the class name. Let me drag and drop. Okay, it's actually dragging dropping the whole class, opening it up for me. I was just wanted to see if I can drag drop the class name. Should be possible. No, it's just opening the class. Fine, that's okay. So ZCL underscore plane cargo allow passenger type ZCL, and now I want to do code completion like you do in SAP GUI. So which shortcut anybody you use for doing code completion in SAP GUI? Anyone? Which shortcut do you use in SAP GUI? Control space for code completion. Yeah, so do control space and now it will load all the classes matching the criteria. Yeah, so now you see this is a class, the same control space for code completion in Eclipse as well. So that's it. We added 3 objects, and of course it has to be type ref2. I'm so sorry, because any object which you create in Abap has to be type ref2, not just the type, because type is used for structures. And let's align this, and what I will do is I'll just do a check if what type of class it is. So I can say control space, and you see it allows me to insert the code snippet, and you see it has created the code snippet for me quite easily into Eclipse, just the way you do it in Abap. Yeah, so if I put my expression plane type equals to passenger plane, which is P, then do something, if else just instantiate the cargo plane class. So I just put this piece of code now, and I can also put a case statement if you want in Abap, but in if condition is okay for us in this case. So what I'm going to do is I will now create the object of passenger plane class. So create object, and of course there's a new syntax for creating objects in Abap, guys. I'm going to show you that next, how to create objects in Abap. The new syntax I will show you for creating the objects. So first create object allow passenger plane, and then I will say allow underscore plane, which is my interface object. Just assign the passenger plane object to it. So I'm assigning child class object to the base class. That's completely possible. And then same thing I will do it here for cargo plane. Create the cargo object in case of condition is for cargo, and then just say allow underscore my interface plane, and I just first say first say load. That's a loading method. Now to do the code completion, complete method generation in Abap, we use enter, simple enter to generate the code, but here it won't work. So first you do enter, method comes up, again you do control space and then do shift enter. Okay, then the code gets generated. Okay, so let me note down as a comment here. So what you need to do here in Abap is first do control space generate or use code completion to get method name, and then what next you need to do is press shift enter. Instead enter here to generate stub. Stub means whole code gets generated. So I don't have right now parameters in my method. I wanted to keep this example as simple as possible so you all can understand, the basics of ADT. Of course, we'll get into deep of very complex examples, very real-time practical OIA scenarios. So if you're finding this one difficult, you got to really pull up your shocks and practice every day. Yeah, your basics are weak then. In this case, if you're finding this one difficult, okay, then call plane and say fly. Yeah, so fly high. So F method, control first enter, shift enter, sorry, control space again, and then shift enter. It generates the stub. Very nice. Save this. We are done with the program, and let's activate and test this. Now as you all know, if there's an output coming in a list format, ADT doesn't support the list output. So what it will do, it will open SAP GUI window, right? So I execute it directly from here using this execute button. You can press this or press F8 as usual, and it'll open SAP GUI window. First you get selection screen. I put passenger plane P, execute, and you see passengers are checking in now. Passengers are boarding from gate 20A. Plane is running on runway number 1. Plane is taking off. Roger, you are in the air. Autopilot on. Go back and change it to C, cargo plane, execute, and now you see freight is moving to conveyor belt. Loading plane is running now on runway number 1. Plane is taking off. Roger, you are in the air. So you see different message which shows you that it's instantiating different class, putting the object into interface, and then you're making a call to it accordingly. That's the power of template design pattern. The functionality for flying the plane is common, implemented only once in abstract class, and the functionality which is dedicated to or different for different concrete implementation, it's done in the concrete classes. Hope this example and design pattern is also clear to all of you. So I taught you basically design pattern also to showcase the power of ADT. Yeah, so that's your output. Now as I told you, it also gives you some feature like generating the code stub. So let me come back to features. So we saw quick fix option. Now we'll see modularizing the code block. So if you want to modularize a piece of code, how can you do it? Suppose this if condition I want to separate into a different method or different subroutine. You can select this whole piece of code, right click on source code, and there is an option called extract method. If you are in a class, I think it will also work in report. It will extract out this whole piece of code as a reusable piece. Yeah, extract method, and now you see it's generating a small stub of reusable piece. Now you see it doesn't work for report, it works for a class. So maybe I'll just put a complex statement in a class and then show you that it will create a reusable method for that. So maybe I'll just move the same if condition over here into this class, which basically checks for or maybe I'll move it to my abstract class, guys. So let's go to our abstract class and move this to our abstract class. So this is our abstract class, and inside maybe the fly method, I'm going to move this, or maybe, yeah, maybe I'll just move it here itself, and I will put some case statement or if condition which I want to later on modularize into different method. It will be done quite easily with the help of ADT. So this plain type property is not there. That's okay, it doesn't matter. But I can now select this piece of code, right click, say go to source code, extract a method, and yeah, save the changes, fine. And oops, compiler error. Of course, first you have to make it error free. So I'm just putting some literal value just to satisfy the condition. Maybe just remove these things. Just put a simple if and else condition. And I want to reuse this piece of code. Okay, so I copy this, right click once again. It's syntax free, error free, right click, quick, sorry, right click, and we have option for source code and extract a method. So this piece of code will be created in a completely different method automatically. Yeah, extract the method, say save, and now operation in progress. It's asking me a new method name. So this whole piece of code which I selected, I think this could be reusable. I can right click and create a new extract method out of it. It will automatically create a new method with parameters. So I say this is identify plain type. Okay, and then I want it to be a private method, and I can also add parameters. So based on values used, if I would have used some variables, it would have already extracted those variables and put those parameters here. Yeah, since I haven't used any variables, it's not showing here me any parameters. Click on next. It should be in the same class. Fine, finish, and you will see this whole piece of code now will be written automatically in a different method. You see, identify plain type, the whole if condition is now moved to a different method, and now you see here in this piece it is calling this method automatically. And now this method I can call wherever I have this piece of code reused. So I can remove that code from all the places and reuse this method. So that's a beautiful feature which we have it here in ADT. It's not there in SAP GUI. You cannot do the extraction of a different method in SAP GUI. You have to do it manually actually. In SEAT, I don't think so we have this feature in SEAT. I've never seen it actually. I've seen it first time with ADT itself. Okay, so that's an amazing feature which ADT provides us to separate a piece of code in a completely different stub. Okay, so maybe I just remove this right now. Maybe calling this, keep the method, but just remove the calling of it. So I will comment out the piece of code and save it. Just activate and make sure it gets activated. Yeah, and also hopefully my all the other classes are also active. Yeah, this is also active. So if it is inactive, what happens, you will get that gray color icon which identifies that it's inactive. So right now it's active. That's fine. So that's the beauty. You can also select multiple objects here and right click and activate them together. This is also another feature which ADT gives you. You can right click and activate. Now all three classes gets activated in one single shot. So in a nutshell, this is what was ADT all about. Abap development tools with the new features which we looked at. Okay, how to modularize the code. Another feature which it gives you is code snippet. So what, let's say you typically do is whenever you have some data retrieved from database table using select single, select star or something, you write a loop at internal table and then into work area, and then what you mention is write statement with lots of different fields you will pick up from the work area. If you want to reuse that piece of code again and again, you have to write whole stuff. So why can't you just create a template in ADT and just reuse the template again and again, rather than writing the whole loop at itab into work area, write statement with work area hyphen field names again and again. You can create a template. For that, go to window, preferences, and search here for template, and you will find this in Abap development. And let me just little bit to this Abap templates over here. So you see there are already ready-made templates. So just some time back I used if statement. That's actually a template. It created the if and if statement for me automatically. That's because it's a template. Like try catch block is a template. Yeah, test class is a template, case statement is a template. I can create now my customized template. Okay, so I can say new, and I say new template underscore Anubhav. Underscore I'm putting is because it's a naming convention to identify and tell everybody who use, let's say my system I'm giving to my colleague, it's a team laptop and he's using ADT here. So he will maybe do a control space and suddenly find Anubhav over there. Then what will he assume? he will assume that Anubhav is a template which is available in ADT in all systems. That's not the case. We should differentiate it from the standard template, use underscore and your custom template name. Okay, so this code snippet can be used for looping internal table, and now I'm gonna use this guys in future also. Whenever I will go ahead with this, I'm going to use this. So I'll say loop at my insert a variable, and maybe I can also insert ready to use variables like system date, system time, system ID and stuff like that, but I don't want to do that. I'll just put lt table into work area and end loop, and then also put a write statement, work area hyphen some field, work area hyphen some another field, work area hyphen some another field. Save this, click on OK. You will see a new template underscore Anubhav is ready. Click on apply, apply and close. We are good. Now let's go back to our previous report Z sample, and where I think I have not used any looping. Let me use a looping. I will not do a select single star. I'll just do a select star to LT products, which is now an internal table, and then I just comment out this piece of code. Okay, let me just comment out this piece of code. Right click. You can also comment out the whole piece of code using your source code options. So source code, and then you see add a comment, control less than symbol, remove comment, control greater than symbol. So control less than, you see it got commented, and now I see underscore Anubhav a control space, and you see this code snippet is ready. Double click, generated, very nice. Double click, use the table, use your work area. Of course you got to create the work area, so I can say data work area like line. Of course I can't do it because LT products is also created at runtime, so I can also create it at runtime data work area, and then I can just do control space, and I should be able to see the properties available into it. Okay, why it's giving me an error? I think it's some reason. Data work area LT products having some issue. Sorry guys, there's a mistake, into table, because when you're selecting multiple records it should be into table, your internal table. That's a syntax. And now do control space, you see the properties, category of the product, maybe product ID, and maybe I use price of the product. Three properties I use, save it, we are ready. So see, this really helps you a lot, minimizing the time of writing a code which you typically use again and again and again. You can minimize it. Now there's an error. What it says, the data object work area does not have a component called P. Okay, that's I think a bug. I just save and activate, it will go away. Yeah, it is going away, and let's execute, and as you know it will open SAPGUI window to display you the results. You see it has brought you the results now on the UI. Superb. So that's the code snippet magic. Okay, so now let's talk about the new enhancements into Abap language. So some of these enhancements I will take as and when we will progress, but some of them which I can take it quite now itself. So let me first show you the first enhancement which has happened in Abap language with NetWeaver. So remember guys, all these enhancements are available from 7.4 onwards. So if you are on SAP NetWeaver 7.4 onwards, you can make use of these enhancements of programming language Abap. So there's a question here. Now Anubhav, if select fails, then LT product valid? Yes, it is valid. What happens typically in Abap, if let's say it doesn't give you any value, okay, if your select statement fails and it doesn't produce any value, this table will be empty, correct? This internal table will be empty, so this loop will not even start. You are saying loop at the records of an internal table. So if by any chance, if there is no data retrieved, this will be empty. Now I'm coming to this point. What is this syntax? Okay, I'm coming to this point. This is called inline data declaration in Abap. Okay, it's called inline data declaration. What is an inline data declaration? Typically what you used to do earlier, you used to put data, your data variable, whatever variable, type or like whatever you used to use, and then you used to put dd type or primitive types, or you used to put a structure name or table type name or whatsoever you used to put it, right? Dot dot dot. So this was the old syntax for creating variables. Now the new syntax for creating this data variable is you can avoid giving the types. Okay, you don't need to give the types now, predefined types earlier, and you can go and create these data variables on fly as in when you're writing statement. So earlier you used to write data, first you have to specify now the type. Let's say you're selecting from Mara, you used to put data lt Mara type table of Mara, right? This is what you used to do, and then you used to select star from Mara into table lt Mara, correct? Now I'll tell you one problem with this approach. Problem number one, you got to now know the type of the variable predefined. Point one, you have two different line of statement written, code is also big. Another problem, if I change it to Marcy by mistake and I forget to adopt this here Marcy, what will happen? Anyone? What will happen if I change to Marcy table and if I forgot to adapt this one over here? What used to happen? There is no error which will come. But what will happen? The data which is coming from Marcy table, no syntax error. Oh, I think syntax error. Yes, syntax error will come, and if you just execute forcefully, it will lead to errors because these two structures are not compatible. Okay, so that was used to happen. So you have to also change it here, and if you are changing here, then you have to also change the data declaration which you have done. This was the problem. SAP have looked at it and they have taken inspiration from other programming languages like JavaScript. So those who have learned my Fiori chapter, what is the learning? Do we give type in JavaScript when we create a variable? What is the syntax to create a variable in JavaScript? Var some variable name equals to directly value 10. What happens at runtime? It checks what are you assigning. If you're assigning 10, it creates this variable as a integer type. If you're assigning a string value to it, yeah, it automatically creates your variable as a string type. Okay, so that is what happens behind the scenes in JavaScript. They have taken inspiration for such technologies and they have come up with inline data declaration where you don't have to now explicitly declare your variables, data variables. You can simply put new syntax, and in this new syntax you have to now tell the system data and your variable name. That's it. Based on the output, okay, based on the output of the query, the allocation of data variable will happen automatically. Advantage, number of line of code will reduce. Your structure, you don't need to worry about more about what structure shall I type. At runtime, if you change table name, it will allocate Marcy type of internal table. If you change it to VBAC, it will create a VBAC type of data table automatically. Okay, this line will go away. You will have easy syntax. Okay, that's the beauty of new syntax. This is called inline data declaration in Abap. The next improvement what they have done is also in select queries. We always put columns separated by space, right? So select Matner. I'm coming to it. Hold on, guys. I'm coming to it. I'm coming to your question. Just please wait. MAKTL, MAKTX, MEINS into corresponding fields of whatever we used to write. Now, this syntax has also improved. You can now use comma between column names. This is possible. You can put select matnr comma matkl comma matkx. This will not work before NetWeaver 7.4. Comma was not allowed. Now they allow comma also to put between column names. This is second improvement which has happened in Abap programming language. The third improvement, which is called escaping of host variable. Okay, now what you can do is you can do now select star from Mara into table Mara. Now what will happen in old way, this Mara is your database table and this is your internal table. So in order to now differentiate between these two Mara, anything which is your variable of the program, you have to put an at the rate of symbol between this. When you do this, it means this is the host variable. This is the host and this is the guest. Okay, this is called escaping of host variable, where now you can put an at the rate of symbol to tell the system that this is my host and this is my guest. Okay, this is my source of data from where data will be selected, and this is my target of internal table where data will come and sit inside. Is that clear to everybody? Escaping of host variable. Now if you combine concept number 3 and 1 together, you can actually write your select query like this: select star from your database table name into table escaping of host variable. Where will your data come? Inline data declaration data, and put your internal table. Usually we put itab, right? So let me put itab. That's it. This is your new syntax for select statement in Abap. And that's what I did here. If you come back, select star from this table into table escaping of host variable. Where will data come and sit inside? Yeah, escaping of host variable. Yeah, what is the source and what is the target? So this is the source and this is the target, and that got declared also at runtime. Data, I don't now need to declare LT product separately. All right, that's the beauty. With this, you avoid writing an extra line of code. Also avoid writing type definition for this unnecessarily. Yeah, this will help you a big time to simplify the code. That's the new syntax with NetWeaver 7.4. As I told you, SAP ABAP is also evolving. So this is nothing related to HANA. If your DB is on any database, doesn't matter. If you are on NetWeaver 7.4, you can use this new syntax. It is not necessary that you need to be on HANA DB. You can work with this new syntax in ABAP from 7.4, inline data declaration and escaping of host variable. And look at that here as well. Here, loop at products into data work area. Now you will say, Anubhav, why didn't you use at the rate of here? Guys, at the rate of escaping of host variable only applies to select queries. It doesn't work, doesn't need to be necessarily given for the other operations. It only works with select queries. Escaping of host variable required only with select queries, because other places, this is anyway system knows that it's between the variables of the program. So you don't need it separately. Okay, that's why we didn't use, but we did use an inline data declaration for our work area creation. Now you will say, Anubhav, what about field symbols? Field symbols also work same way. Let me create a new snippet now. Go to window, preferences, and I create a new symbol, new, and I say loop fs, loop with field symbol on internal table, loop on itab with field symbol. Those who are afraid of field symbol, don't worry. It's just like pointers in C programming, which can point directly to the memory address of your internal table records. So I say loop at your internal table, whatever it is, assigning. Yes, very good. Thank you for the syntax. And your field symbol inline declaration. And then you can use this symbol for field symbol. Yeah, and that's it. And then of course write statement what we typically put, and then put our field symbol, of course arrow, again field symbol across arrow, again field symbol across arrow. Maybe I'm just putting 3 fields, guys. Put a dot, period, and loop. Very nice. Yeah, and if you want a where condition to be put, you can put also where condition. That's also fine. Just put a where like this, where user can insert something, a where condition. Yeah, very nice. Click on OK. and that's my code snippet. Template is ready. Apply, close. It's local to my ADT. You will not see it, guys. It doesn't go to Abap server. Even you are connected to the same system, you will not see this snippet in your system. It's only local to my Eclipse. Now let's come back. Underscore control space, all my snippet comes. Loop using field symbol got generated. Very nice. LT products, put it here. Field symbol is there. Don't want where condition, leave it. And now let me put some properties. Category, category currency code, and let me use product price or product ID. Very nice. Let me comment out this piece of code using control less than arrow. That's not working, I guess. Okay, it is not working, only working with shortcut, some problem. And maybe just do the commenting. So I will go here to my source code and comment out this piece of code. So shortcut within keyboard is not working in this case. Save it and let's activate and test it. You will see same results. Category, currency code, and product ID will be visible to you. Execute, and there you go. The category of the product, currency in which it deals, and the product ID is visible to you. Superb. That's the power of Abap development tools on Eclipse. It's fun. It's fun, guys. Initially, it will take some time for you to get used to it. Believe me, it took some time for me because I was working in Abap since last 18 years by now, and it takes so much of time for me to get used to this new environment. But believe me, now I love working with ADT. In my previous batch, if you have seen videos, I was actually recommending people to use SAP GUI. But now after completing that batch, I'm so comfortable working with ADT that I love using ADT. Completely new interface, but it gives me a lot of power. If you get used to it, you will realize it's much more powerful than your SAP GUI. Yeah. Okay, great. So now let's look at some questions. Okay, great. So do we need declare field symbol? Yes, as you saw, I had showed you the syntax. If I declare inline declaration in if statement, use it in else part. No, inline declaration will not work with if statement. It only works where you are assigning something. In if statement, you don't assign. That's a comparison operator. If is comparison. Okay, so you don't work inline declaration. It typically works where you're assigning something, like you in this case you're assigning the value, in this case you're assigning the value. Only in these cases it will work. Select statement, of course it will work. Okay, inline data declaration. So that's one part of it. Now I'll show you the next syntax, preparing your internal table. So what you used to do earlier to create some data in an internal table, so to create, that's my fourth, I think fifth uh, improvement in Abap language. That's my fourth topic, how to improve Abap language. So what you used to do earlier to create table objects, sorry, create objects in Abap. Yeah, you used to do two things. First, you used to read data, lo object, type ref to class name, and then you say create data, and then lo obj, yeah, and then you used to do lo obj underscore and then arrow symbol, your method name. This was the syntax you were using earlier. Now they have learned a lot from Java. In Java or in JavaScript, the way we used creation of an object in Java and JavaScript, same fashion they have implemented here. So in JavaScript, just to tell you guys, those who don't know JavaScript, forget my words, but those who know, because majority of the people in this batch are from my Fiori classes, so you guys already know JavaScript, what I taught you in Fiori, you can relate to that. That's the only reason why I'm touching upon. Yeah, so var lo object, whatever you say, and new and sap.ui.commons or sap.m.button, what we used in Fiori, right? This is what we used in Fiori. Same thing you can now do in Abap. You can say data, of course, an inline declaration of your object. This is more powerful now. New, your class name, and then of course if it's you're calling a static method, you can call get instance method. Typically there is a method inside a class which gives you the object of the class. So that's what you can do now to create the object of a class quite easily. So this is the new syntax what you have, it direct inline data declaration for creating an object, and a new object of a class gets created and you can call the method of the class. Let's have a look at it now. So what I will do is I will just go back to our report program where we were creating these objects in a legacy way. Let me change this way. I'm just going to say bye-bye to all these people and just control less than. It's not working in my editing, not sure why. Source code, I have to comment it from here. Yeah, and maybe I just also comment these out. Just put a star to comment this out. And then we'll see the new syntax for creating the object. So I'll say come here, inline data declaration for LO passenger, yeah, and equals to new. My class name is ZCL plane passenger. That's my class name. That's it, guys. New class object gets created. Oops, I see an error. New is unknown. Why it is giving me this error? Of course, I have to call some method. So I have to basically provide static method now, get instance method inside my class to give the object of the class. And you see now it's saying there is no get instance method. Let me add the instance method, static method to return the object of the class that I'm doing. I go back to my class, my passenger class. Okay, it got timed out. That's okay. SAP that's another problem with SAP it gets timed out. So I go now quickly inside and developer, my master password of course, and SE24, and say my class name. I'm just going to add a new get instance method, guys, to it. Plane passenger. Very simple and small example for you to practice these things up. Okay, great. Let's go for change, and I go to source form based editor and then put a static method in my class, static public method, which then creates object of this class itself and returns it. So R obj, it's a return type ref to my same class name, guys. Okay, so my class name is this. So I'm just returning an object of my passenger class out of it. Hardcore Abap programmer you are. Okay, we are a hardcore Abap programming thing which we are doing here. Signature to look at the parameters. You see ROBJ is a parameter equals to, and then here you can of course create the variable inline data declaration LOROBJ. Okay, and then you can say create object. That's it. Save this, do a syntax check. So this is one way. Okay, it's not possible at this position. So you see inline declaration is also not allowed. This is what you get when you try to do inline data declaration at some places where it is not allowed. Okay, so you will get this. So here I have to create the same way, the way we were doing earlier. So you can say data, this is already declared, guys. I just have to say create object. That's it, already declared in my parameter. That's it, I created object. Yeah, it's already a parameter, that's why. And I activate this, click on OK, and we're good. That's it, get instance static method, which I will now call in my Eclipse. Save this Eclipse page once again, and hopefully your error should run away. I think let me activate, and it should easily get activated without the problem. Maybe just I will reopen our program, and it's giving me still an error. Type this get instance is unknown. Did I put the method name correctly? Yeah, I did put. Then why it's not allowing me to do so? Let me just simply activate and test it. Okay, it's not allowing me. See, it's giving me problem saying that this method get instance is unknown. Okay, so I'm not sure. What shall we do? Let me just at least keep the interface instance. That's important, guys. Class instance anyways we are creating inline, but interface instance we need it to assign. Save it, and saying get instance is not a method. So typically we call a static method based on class name only, guys. Control space, and it's not showing me the method, guys. Still, I think I have forgot to activate my passenger plane class here. Yeah, I have activated now my passenger plus class name, and maybe just reopen the report. Let me close all the tabs and just come back to my report and do control space. Oops, it's still not showing. I'm not sure what's the reason. Maybe I'll try editing this in SEPGUI. That's typically problem with sandbox systems. So I go back to SE38 and show this feature over there, Z fly planes. That's my program. Go for change, and now let's test it. Control space. It's not showing. I'm not sure what's the problem. Still here also it is not showing my get instance method. Maybe what I'll do is I'll make use of our pattern option. So go to pattern, and there in the pattern we have Abap object patterns, and let's try with creating and calling a method. Yeah, instance is same, class is same, method F4, and you see get instance method over here. Click on OK, and it generated. It's giving me an object which I will now assign into my inline data declaration. That's it. Do a check. We are good, and we are done. So that's an inline data declaration for objects in your system. Let's pass P, execute, and you see passengers are checking in now, and they're boarding as well from gate number 20A, and they're flying. Great. So that's your new syntax for creating object in Abap. And this is a technique. So this part is a technique of creating object, guys, which you will see in majority of the places whenever you work with a framework like BOPF or BRF plus or some frameworks in your company. You will see this is the pattern. Okay, creating an instance, but this is inline data declaration over here. Okay, in fact this should also work, what I was just trying to show you, but I'm little worried why it's not working with this new syntax, basically what we have similar to JavaScript. Okay, so here it's not showing me. Let me just try it as it is, let it out, save this, do a check. It's giving me an error. I don't know why it's giving me an error. Ideally it should work. Maybe okay, yeah, I'm not sure why it's not working. Maybe I will cross check this, guys, tomorrow, and next class I will show you. So let me note down this action item. The new,
yeah, Anubhav, can you try without new?
Without new we can try this out. Let's see. I hope it needs new. Okay, seems like yes, it seems to be working, but I've seen in syntaxes it works with new keyword typically. Yeah, this one of course will work because get instance is a returning parameter, and whenever you have returning parameter, that method you can put it directly like this. Okay, but I feel it should also work with just with the class name. Let me just put this one. Okay, it's not working. You see it's giving me an error over here. It will give me an error. Okay, maybe I need to check where this new keyword is used. That's something I need to discuss with you. So this is a note action on Anubhav. Check where to use a new keyword. Hmm? Okay, just last one, guys. I want to show you the language improvement in Abap with 7.4. Guys, remember, it doesn't matter that which database are you in. You can be on any database, doesn't matter. If you are on NetWeaver 7.4 and above, you can make use of this new syntax. And that's the next one, very powerful, creating table with data. So earlier what you used to do, you used to declare itab using data statement, and then you used to fill work area, and then you used to append work area to itab, right? This was the syntax. Now this all got simplified. If let's say I want to draw a quick simple table with 2 columns, okay, and I want to just put these 2 columns over here. First column is, let's say, my employee number, and second is employee name. I want to declare this table, and in this table I have 2 columns, employee number and name, and I want to put 10 Anubhav, 20 Megha, 30 Sonia. Yeah, so I want to create this table with this data. So earlier you used to do this a lot of stuff, and now this can be done in an easier way with something called value hash syntax. Okay, value hash syntax. Okay, with this syntax you can quickly create an internal table and assign with the help of also the inline data declarations. Let me show you that. So I'll create a table and print it on the UI. So let me just do it in our report program. Go to ADT sample and just comment this out. Okay, that's a problem with, I think, bug with ADT. The shortcut for commenting the code is not working, guys. I tried it many times. Okay, great. So now I just come here, and what I'll do is I'll create an internal table. So I say data lt val equals to typically, we are used to itab world in a better way, and value hash, and now I'm going to write down the records. So each record has to be in the parenthesis and separated with comma. So I want 3 records. So first record will be in first parenthesis comma, second record in second parenthesis and comma, and third record in third parenthesis. And of course now you have to put the field name and field values. So we want, let's go back to PPT, EMP number and EMP name. Number equals to 10 comma EMP name equals to Anubhav. Yeah, that's my first record. I think we don't need comma, guys. I'm incorrect. And that's my second record. So let me just reuse this. And then let's use the third record, because parenthesis itself is an identifier that we are starting a new record. Yeah, that's the reason. It itself is an identifier that we are starting a new record. So now here 20, and then we can have 30, and then we can have here Megha Sonia. Great, that's it. And yeah, so here it's giving me no type can be derived from context for operator value. Okay, now it's unable to find the type basically. So I have to, I guess, declare the internal table type, guys. Very important. So it's now saying I cannot derive the type. What are all your columns of the table? So I think there's a mistake. It's unable to derive the type. So I need to also mention the type. So let me put create a type, and then begin of ty underscore emp, and then put here emp number. Doesn't matter, it's not case sensitive like JavaScript. And I put integer and emp name type c length 30 end of ty emp. That's my type declaration. I think it's types. Yeah, so that's my type declaration. And now I think I have to mention the type over here somewhere. I forgot the syntax. Let me do an F1 to see what is the possible option we have it. So you see here it opens up below in ADT the possible syntax. You see value hash and then type expose. So let me just check it. Some example we should be able to find value td data work area declare inline. Work area got declared inline, that's okay. But I want to basically see the type. Where are they putting type? There has to be a way to also specify the type. It's all in German, I don't know why, but we can put the type actually. This is actually called constructor expression, guys. In technical terms, this option of creating internal table using this rather than avoiding creating work area and appending one by one line, this is called constructor expression. Okay, now what's the reason why it's not allowing me? I think we have to put the type. No, I think I forgot the syntax, guys. I forgot the syntax. Maybe I will cross check this also and come back to you. So let me put a note for this inline type declaration. Value type, I tried that already. Value type and hash. I think hash is not needed. And yes, let's save this. But this I tab here is causing a problem. Let me do a check. Yeah, this iTab is causing a problem now. Maybe I need to declare the iTab also separately. So let's do that here. Sorry, not a type, it should be a data. Okay, and then yeah, we're doing assignment. Oops, I'm not sure. There's some problem, guys. I need to cross check this code. Though I had did that, now it's still not working. Even in fact, I got to do this inline data declaration. With that also, it's not working. So I think I'm missing out on the syntax part, but the concept here is to avoid creating things unnecessarily, avoid creating work areas. You can directly do this with the help of this new syntax, where you can put row by row directly with the values inside and then just assign it. So now here you see value and this type. If you put hash, which means it's a generic type. Okay, if you're putting hash, it means it's a generic type. So currently I'm not able to show this. You see it's giving an error, so I need to resolve this. Let me note down this as an action point and maybe we'll see this. So this is basically a expression, new type of expression available with the new language, and we will see this in the next class. It's called constructor expressions. So I'll show you the constructor expression. Okay, so these two topics I will discuss in next session when we will start the next session, and then we will also move to our SAP HANA part. So there is something which you see here and you're not able to understand what exactly it is. We will discuss all of this, but of course we will not use our system user to connect to HDB. So you right click on the system and choose add a system with different user option, and then connect with your user SAP A4H. Okay, so this is what also I missed to tell you in today's class. As I told you, question mark as a surprise. So this will be the user. Why this user? Okay, why this user? So we'll discuss that in the next class. What is this user? Why you use this user to connect to SAP HANA DB as development? Yeah, so that's what we'll see. So you see, with master password, it will also work and connect with this SAP A4H user. This will be used for all the development in HDB. So please try this. In your case also it will be same, SAP A4H user. You will use this to connect to HANA DB from your ADT tool. So here same ABAP code, HANA code, Java code, UI5 code, everything under single hood, thanks to Abap development tools on Eclipse. Yeah, Web IDE cannot do this. Yeah, great. So there's a question here before we close. One quick question I have: a project in HDB and a cal is suspended because the time is up. Do I need to create another project since last one is connected to another IP? I did not get your question. Can you please unmute your line, Jane, and ask this question? I did not get it properly. Or maybe you would like to share your screen. And anybody who is facing issue with cal now can come up and unmute your line and explain it.
Okay.
Jane? Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, hi
Yeah,
Jane.
basically, good. Basically, we had I was trying to connect. I connected to it on HANA-DB, right? And I was doing few stuff like practicing, right? And Cal was suspended because I just put 1 hour. When I activated again and I tried to keep working, I couldn't connect to that one project that I had, and I needed to open another one because the last one had the previous IP address.
Okay, I got your point. So it's very simple. If you try to reconnect, it won't, because the last IP is there. You see, if I also hover, it shows me the last IP address. So just simply delete and re-add, remove and re.
Okay.
That's it. It's so simple. Put your new
Okay.
IP,
To remove it
024
and start
HANA.
it over again, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
it. And in fact, I'll do the same thing in tomorrow's class. When you see, my cal will shut down now. I will suspend it. And then tomorrow's session,
Mm-hmm.
when we come back, I'm going to remove this one from here. So don't worry, even you can remove your above project. It's just a container connect. It's a proxy for you to connect to above system. It itself
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
contain any object. So don't panic. Whatever work you did, it won't be lost. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. All right,
Okay,
that
hope that
makes sense.
is clear. Okay, great. Anybody else having
Thank
any
you.
issue with Cal? Thank you, Jane. Anybody else? Any other issue facing with Cal? Please come up, share your screen. or please let me know so I can give you presenter rights so you can share your screen. You have an issue. I don't see your name on the screen, I think, while connecting you. Can you unmute your line and talk to me? Is it possible if you have mic, Rama? Fine. Yeah, okay. I'll give you presenter right, Rama. Please share your screen. Yeah, I can see your screen, Rama. Please go ahead and show me the issue.
What is this?
I think your
Like
preparation
that
of the
if
system itself has failed. So you can get started with a new system, completely fresh installation. So don't panic. May I know your location? Where are you right now? Are you in US or in India?
no, I'm in India.
You are in India. Okay. I think you would have closed the process in the middle. You would have thought that it will cost you a lot. It's taking time. Usually, initially, when you're setting it up, it takes some time. It takes about 60 minutes. You also see there's a nice link below, show error. Can you please click on that? So by any chance, if you would have closed it in the middle, then it wouldn't have got completed properly. So you can start with a completely new instance. Okay, your current account
Yeah.
is currently being verification process, and your account is not active still, which means you haven't got an email yet from Amazon that your account is ready. Have you got that email? Can you please confirm?
No, no, no. I got. Yeah,
Sorry?
I got it. I got it. I got that message
So
from
did you get it after
Amazon.
trying it out, or did you get it before trying it out?
No, no, before trying it.
Before. Can you show me the email that your account is ready? I want to see that
Yeah.
email. Your Amazon account is ready. I want to see that email. You can search on the
I
top,
received it.
directly type Amazon, and it would be filtered.
No, no, no. You can see that. You can see that. You can see that. I
Okay,
think it is buffering for you.
no problem. I have time. We can see that. Ah, yes, you have got the email. Then why it is saying your account is in evolution state? Go back, please. Let's have a look at the error. This is first time I'm seeing in the CAL. Usually I don't see such issues. Your account is currently being, okay, please open that again. Your account is currently being verified. Verification normally takes less than 2 hours. Until your account is verified, you may not be able to launch additional instances or create additional volumes. If you are still receiving this message more than 2 hours, please let us know writing aws-verification at amazon.com. We appreciate your patience. So you know what you need to do. It's clearly telling you what you need to do.
Yeah, I'll do that then.
Yeah, so try one more time. I hope this will work fine. And I think we have a breakthrough here. Jean is saying that I had the same issue. You need to update the credit card details, and it takes 24 hours to AWS. Open up a ticket, they will take care of you. Okay, great, Jane. That's very nice and helpful information. So you can see in the chat box, there's somebody already helping you out, and that's what happens when you collaborate. Yeah, and that's the beauty of a batch. Thank you so much for all of you. See you tomorrow. We see something amazing stuff coming forward in our next class. See you and goodbye.